Hey, what's up, guys? James from Junkyard Fox. Thank you so much for joining me, and I got Cuervo here with me as well. And we are out here in the beautiful Cloudcroft, New Mexico area, and this is one of our favorite places to camp. And we haven't camped here all year, so we're far overdue. So you know the deal. We're going to be eating some good food, drinking some cold beer, and we just got back from fishing. So we finally got lucky. We caught ourselves 4 trout. So that's what we're going to be cooking up over the fire today and having a good time. So thank you for joining us. Let's get started. So our tents have already been set up. Camp is ready to go. Cuervo and I are taking a little break, cooling off because it's very hot today. Having a cold one before we resume on gathering some firewood for our dinner. Now, I know some of you are wondering, why are we filming in New Mexico and not Utah? We ended the last video mentioning that we leave for Utah at 8 in the morning. We've mentioned it several times throughout the last couple of videos. Unfortunately, I had to be realistic and pull the plug last minute on that adventure. And I apologize to whoever we let down about that. We are looking forward to hanging out with our buddies Shane and Tyler from TJAC Survival and having a collaboration and an adventure together. And I know that we had some patrons that were looking forward to meeting us and hanging out. James Hyde and Scott J. Marshall. And I apologize to all you gentlemen that we let down. Now, I do want to mention that it wasn't a choice that came easy to me, but I did have to be realistic and I had to be responsible. And truthfully, I just don't trust my truck, my rickety old truck, to make that 13-hour journey from Texas to Utah and then make that 13-hour journey back home. Now, at the very least of our worries, we were looking at getting stranded somewhere and we would have a tow truck bill and a mechanic's bill. And at worst, I'm putting myself and Cuervo in needless danger. So, all for, ambitions. So, as much as that trip was going to be awesome, like I said, I had to be truthful with myself, and I don't trust my truck. I feel like there's something off with the suspension and the ball joints. I went to get it looked at, and it looks like I have to replace some front rods. That's what's causing what's making me paranoid. And, I mean, either ways, I just don't trust my truck to make that large of a journey. So, last minute cancellation. Once again, I apologize to anybody that was looking forward to those videos, and we let down. We're bummed out about it as well. However, at the same time, we already got those days off from work, both myself and Cuervo, and I did get 2 new tires for the truck anyway, so we're making the best of it. So, we can wallow in our defeat, or we can make the best of a situation and say, hey, we can't make a 13-hour drive, but we can make a 2-hour drive and do some fishing, do some camping, get some fresh mountain air, and that's what it's all about, guys. So life is never going to go according to plan. It's never going to go according to what you want to do, but you got to make the best of it, and you got to improvise, and that's what we're doing now. So once again, we caught ourselves a couple of trout. We're going to be feasting pretty good tonight. We're having a cold beer with my best friend, and hopefully you guys enjoy this adventure. So cheers, everyone. First one of the day. Look at that. Beautiful little rainbow. Splash. Gotcha. Look at this guy. You're lucky we're not hunting crawdads, little buddy. Off you go. Good size too. Probably the biggest one we've caught. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh yeah. He's a little guy. I don't let him go. So here's today's bounty, some beautiful sized fish right here. I mean, look at the size of these two large ones right here. So we are very happy because, yeah, we have not had a lot of luck with trout lately. So anyways, we did have them in ice, so they're a little stiff. But, in fact, I'm not even going to bother doing this. No, maybe I will. Remove the scales. We don't need to do too much of it. And I'm using the La Roca Compani to fillet these guys. Well, not fillet, but gut them and descale them. Look at that. Nice little 90-degree spine right there. So let's get to gutting this guy. Guts out of here. We don't want that. Looks like jelly over here. Yeah, really nice. The La Roca Compani, great bushcraft knife, at the same time a great trout eater. So this guy just needs a rinse, but he's good to go. So we got a good amount of wood. We're about to get the fire going. Now, we haven't had a lot of luck finding a good amount of tinder to start a tinder bundle. We have this, which is not a lot. However, we do have a ace up our sleeves is there's a lot of pine trees and there's a lot of pine pitch, and that's gonna be a flame extender. So all we gotta do is get this thing going, throw a couple of twigs, and then add some of this. And look at this big chunk that I found on the ground. It's just all just coagulated, just bunched together. So we'll throw this on there, and all this accumulation is just gonna burn for a while the bigger sticks start burning, the bigger tinder. So let's get to it. All right. Well, look, there we go. It's already starting. Just transfer some of that over here. See it right there, bubbling. So it's dinner time. Before the sun sets, we want to get the food going. So we have some water boiling because our trout will be joined by some instant rice. This is broccoli flavored. And we originally wanted to do catching some trout and then wild foraging some wild edibles in the area, but we're tired, we're lazy. We got baked while cooking, while fishing, and then while gathering all this firewood. It was just exhausting. So we're lazy. We're just gonna stick to the rice, and we'll do the foraging another day. And since I used my knives for gutting the fish, I'm gonna be borrowing Cuervo's Victorinox Ranger Wood 55. Beautiful blade. We actually reviewed it in this exact spot. So if you want to check out our official Junkyard Fox review on this blade, we'll have it over here in the corner. And we're going to use it to slice up some jalapenos to throw onto our rice. So we're basically eyeballing it. This is the first time we cooked trout on this grill. So we cooked them 5 minutes on each side. Now just to play it safe is we're gonna kind of stand them up so they're cooking on the inside. Make sure everything's cooked evenly. We don't want them too dry, but at the same time, we don't want to be eating raw fish. So just making sure that it's well cooked and they're almost ready. So trout time's almost here. Look at this guy. Beautiful. Well, 15 minutes later, we just devoured our fish and our rice. Cuervo, how is it? Look at that. And we did also open up a bag of Doritos to use as tostadas as well, so that was damn good. Now it's time to hit the booze. Giddy up. Yeah. All right, there we go. Wow.
Left alone, my mind was blank. I needed time to get the memories from my mind. What did I see? Could I believe what I saw that night was real and not just fantasy? In my dreams, it's always there, the evil face that twists my mind and brings me to despair. 666, the number of the beast. Hell and fire spawned to be I think it's as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah. Good old Iron Maiden. Hell yeah. So we had a couple of beers, had a good time. We're jamming out. Cuervo's got the guitar, but it's about 11 o'clock already, and we are pretty beat. Now, we started driving over here at 3 in the morning because we did a lot of fishing early morning, and that sun, that heat just zapped us. So I think that's what the reason is, that we're a little low on energy. So I'm going to call it a night, head into the tent. Cuervo's still going to have a couple more beers and keep jamming out. All right, brother. I'm calling it a night. So that's about it for us, folks. I could already hear Cuervo going into his tent. My boots are off. We are done. We are just zapped and tired from today's adventure, which was a very fun adventure, but it is tiring. So that's about it. We're going to call it a night, get some rest, and we will join you in the morning for some coffee. So thank you so much. See you then. So I had a great night's sleep. I was exhausted, so as soon as I laid down, it was lights out, and I was very comfortable, and I had a great night's sleep. But of course, once the sun rises, you start baking in your tent. So I woke up and I was just sweating. Felt like I was cooking in there. I did squeeze in another hour in there after the sun came up, but there's only so much you can take. Either ways, I could hear Cuervo outside. I already know Cuervo. The first thing he's going to do is make some coffee, so I decided to come out and join him.
And if anybody is wondering, I always put 2 scoops of coffee for cowboy coffee for every person that's going to drink it. Just let it simmer for a little bit and it's good to go. Okay, so the coffee's been simmering for a good amount. And just gonna add a little bit of cool water, change the temperature. And then that makes the grains settle down a little bit further. So, I mean, you're still gonna get grains in your coffee, but not as much as when you apply cool water. It's ready to go. Here you go, sir. I always wait for the creamer to come up to the surface so it doesn't get too chocolatey milk. And that's it. Oh, that's good.
So we've already packed up all our stuff. The tents and everything are back in the truck. The campsite is nice and barren, except for all this firewood. We gathered a little too much firewood yesterday. We were worried that we would be having trouble keeping the fire going. Boy, were we wrong. So some lucky camper's gonna show up here soon, and he's got all this wood for him. Unless nobody shows up and we can make it out here in about a week or two, and then we have all this wood. So we'll see what happens. So thank you so much for joining us on this adventure. Once again, apologies for anyone we let down that we weren't able to make the Utah trip, but we are making the best out of it, and we got to make a little fishing adventure, a little overnighter. Cuervo got to play some music. We had some good food, some beer. Once again, just making the best out of it and getting some fresh air outdoors. So thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any questions, comments, suggestions. If you're new here, please subscribe. We are so close to hitting 100,000 subscribers. So that's pretty exciting, and we have a lot of really cool content coming soon. So thank you for joining us. We are on our way to Ruidoso, New Mexico to eat at Hall of Flame Burger, a delicious place Cuervo's never been to. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Now go outside and get your boots dirty.